On the scene. On the scene. On my way. On the scene. On the scene. On the scene. On the scene. On my way. On the scene. On the scene. On the scene. On the scene. On the way. On the scene.
We're on our way. On my way.
We are on our way. It's done.
You bet. On my way. Looking good.
On the way. On the scene.
On the way.
We are on our way. Almost there. Okay. On my way. Looking good.
On my way.
On my way.
Right away.
On the way. On the way. Looking good. Okay. Yes.
You bet.
Looking good. Here we go. On the way. On my way.
We're on our way. Here we go. Here we go. You bet. You bet. On the way. We're on our way.
Yes. Okay. We are on our way. On my way. On the way. On the way. Working on it. It's okay. We are on our way.
We're on our way.
Yes. On the scene. On the scene. On Here we go. On the scene.
We're on our way. It's okay.
Looking good. Okay. On my way.
You bet. Working on it. We're on our way.
Looking good. the scene. On the scene. On the scene. On the scene.
On my way. On the way. We're on our way. You bet. You bet. We're on our way.
Here we go. On the way. On my way. It's okay. It's okay. Here we go.
Here we go. You bet. Here we go.
On the way. On the way. On the way. On the way. It's okay. On my way. On the way. On the way. On my way. On the way. Here we go. On the way.
On my way.
Here we go. Here we go. On the way. Yes. Working on it. Working on it. On the way. Working on it.